Hello, hello, hello.
I'll repeat my initial greeting, which was, "You look handsome today."
You look more handsome than ever. Wait a minute.
Well, I mean,
does that mean I looked bad before?
Yeah, you looked absolutely fucking awful, like a ghost.
That's
like
right.
Like the corpse of a ghost, which is saying something.
The corpse of a ghost.
I'm just kidding.
The charred remains.
It's like the. Have you ever seen that meme? That's like the difference between the way women are friends and the way men are friends, and women are like, like, you got this girl, you're amazing, like super supportive of each other. And a guy will ask his other friend, he's like, "Am I ugly?" And it's like, I have 3 ugly friends, and 2 of them are you.
Welcome to 2 Shots and a Royalty Check, brought to you by Venmo, Your Money, Your Move, and Liquid Death, Murder Your Thirst. Let's get back into it.
Like that kind of shit. It's like we're real dicks to each other. So I'm going to try and change
you
that.
Give each other some shit, though.
A little bit of shit. But I also think it's important for us to be kind and considerate and loving. Are you surprised this is the Stu mode? It's like
Stu Brand.
Stu Brand. Selfishness and be loving and kind.
Stu Brand TM.
It's like,
what's on your coffee mug?
It's an owl. Look at that. Isn't that, I bought this years ago, and I just, for some reason, like, I'm like House Targaryen or some shit like that. And I like have like owls all over my house. I've just decided this is the house sigil. Like, we put this on our shields when we go to war and, that kind of shit.
Owls.
That's
crazy. So do people buy you owl gifts?
No, because I'm smarter than that.
You become like identified with it?
I'm smarter than that because I never tell anybody things that I'm into because the second you tell, especially like, I mean, I've got a lovely supportive family. And when I was like 16 or 17 years old, I told them my favorite Disney character was Eeyore because I was 16 and everything's sad when you're 16, kind of. I'm not a kid and I'm not an adult.
Jesus
I have no
Christ.
freedom. This is me being 16,
My God.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's why my voice broke.
There's some emo playing in the background.
There was a lot of emo playing. Actually, 16 years old, I was
reading Shel Silverstein and Eeyore.
No, I was reading Poe, bitch. Come on now.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. A little darker. Listen to The Cure.
Yeah, and that was pre-emo. I was primo.
Hey.
So you're welcome. And so, like, it was not that. It was just fucking metal or doom metal. I think there was some Obituary in there and that kind of shit.
All right.
But, I told her, like, Eeyore was I made a mistake of saying something about Eeyore being the best Disney character, and all of a sudden I am awash in a sea of Eeyore goods, It's like everybody's like, "Oh, you like Eeyore." We finally know what to get him and I was like, "Great, this is awesome." So I also like 1968 Les Paul Customs.
That's right. Yeah, maybe I can break out of that. Well, it sounds a lot like my childhood, too, like where I told my dad I love Van Halen, and he brought me a lawnmower.
Get a job. You like Van Halen? Those guys don't
work. A
work.
little different generation. Boy, I sure would like that poster.
Yeah.
It's $6, Dad. Here's a lawnmower.
Go earn that money to buy that poster, son.
You're burning daylight, Michael. It's Saturday. Burning daylight.
Speaking of Van Halen, I watched an interview from like 1982 with David Lee Roth. Just like it is just a smile-a-thon. That guy, that guy's on something, like just fucking mushrooms all the time. The interviewer is trying to get an answer out of him, a straight answer out of him about how he's in fucking amazing shape, right? And they're like, "So you must work out." "Oh, rock and roll ain't about working out, baby. It's about the zip-a-da-ba-ba-doo." And just full David Lee Roth. It's not about rock and roll. It's not about working out. We don't prepare. We just do, baby. Kind of that kind of shit. Yeah. And it's like, dude is clearly doing 300 sit-ups a day, Like, there's no way.
They had like a huge jogging routine. You would find out later on, like when Steve Vai joined like the David Lee Roth band.
Oh, shit. Yeah, DLR. Yeah.
That he was like, "Oh, I thought it was all rock and roll too," because I was a skinny kid from back east. And, it was no big whoop.
Yeah.
But like he made him get up and jog and run.
Yeah.
And there were certain things that they had to do like health wise. And he was like, "Oh shit. So this is like a corporation." He's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "You're going to be doing this for 20 or 30,000 people. I don't want you to run out of
steam.
Breath and all that. And you got to look great and you got to sound great and all that." It's funny. He was like, it sort of changed my mind. He's like, "Oh, I thought this was all just sort of natural."
Yeah,
like,
no,
man.
Yeah, you've heard of
if you get a chance, the David Lee Roth, like, go to his YouTube now
Oh,
well, not now.
Well, no.
but like now-ish.
Yeah.
And he's doing all these little stories to music.
Yeah.
And they're like partly from the biography that was written and partly from like I learned I actually was listening to this last weekend.
Yeah.
There was this whole story where he's talking about Ed's wedding. And he's like, now, I think that most people would understand this, but I'm not sure if everybody knows this, but we all fucking hated Valerie's family.
Oh, no.
And
shit.
And I'm like, oh, Jesus, I've never heard that. You know, and then was going into like the wedding day and what happened. If you get a chance to listen to that, I won't ruin it for you, but it's 1,000 things you've never heard about it before.
Wow.
And he's like just telling the truth about everything about Ed in the 90s with his new wife and how that happened and the hotel and I mean just crazy shit about Wolfie. This fucking kid. Like there's a few things that just you're like, holy shit, he's just giving it all right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, and one of the things that I will tell you that I learned is that Women in Love was about Eddie dating some woman that became David Lee Roth's girlfriend. David Lee Roth's girlfriend started dating Eddie.
Yeah.
And then those two girlfriends fell in love and left.
Aw.
And he's like, yeah,
Wow.
man, like everybody finds that all weird. No, what did you think Women in Love was about?
Yeah.
It was the 70s, man.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? I go and I play Women in Love. I'm like, I've heard this song hundreds of times and did not put that together.
Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't have put that together either.
So that little nugget blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, I learned something about Van Halen. How weird.
Yeah, a band that we've been listening to for 40 years, you know.
And reading like Circus Magazine and Parade. Like I learned all that, whatever they fed you.
Yeah, exactly. Parade, magazine.
And I think
was
I
it not
knew
Parade?
a lot of it was
Was it
Play.
Parade magazine? The other fucking music mag?
Yeah, Parade.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just making sure I'm not high because I mean, not right now.
Well,
but speaking of warm up routines
Why
and
the
running,
fuck would you ask me?
I don't know.
Okay, go ahead.
You're right there, and you're the only person here. Wait, is Kelsey in the booth today?
No, she is under the weather today.
Man, that girl needs to fucking eat a salad because
It's the vegetarian stuff, I'm telling you.
yeah, really okay. But it's like eat some vegetables, get some
Go
roughage
to
in there.
In-N-Out. You should go to In-N-Out as a vegetarian, by the way.
Okay, why?
And get a double with
no
no
meat.
meat.
Yeah.
With bacon. What?
How the fuck does that work?
I guess bacon is her hall pass.
Really?
Yeah. How fucked up is that? It was like, why would you just go, like, here's a bun.
Yeah.
Go eat a bun.
Go eat a bun with sauce. There's
go eat a
magic
salad
sauce
with
on
bun.
here.
Go get the little sauces from them or
Yeah.
whatever. But no, we'll pay
Have
for
you-
a full In-N-Out.
Oh my goodness.
Double.
$12.
Drag it through the garden. No meat.
Drag it through the garden.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I know some of the secrets too.
No,
so
it's
go ahead.
funny. I was in the grocery store the other day. I have several things that are rolling through my head right now, but we were talking about
All right,
the sauces.
hit me,
So
go.
now restaurants are like these brands are smart. Now you can get the fucking Arby's sauce, you can get Chick-fil-A sauce, you can get a variety of sauces at the store. So you don't, like I love Arby's sauce. I think it's fucking delicious. And the horsey
red
sauce
stuff and horsey.
yeah,
Okay,
you can get all of it. And my kid and I like to go and visit the ketchup aisle. So just so we know what kind of neighborhood we're in. If you visit the sauce aisle, you'll know because you're like, oh, they have Cranch, which is ketchup and ranch smashed together, and they have Buffer Ranch.
Oh, we're in Parker.
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly where we are. A bunch of fucking white people out here, and it's very, very funny to go to the store and investigate what's in the sauce aisle because you'll know exactly where the fuck you are. Well, the other thing I was thinking about was, have you heard about Carrie Underwood's warm up routine where she warms up on a fucking treadmill running for a show?
No.
It's like if you want to get some fucking breath control, try singing while you run.
Yeah.
I have tried it. It is really fucking hard.
Yeah. That is really difficult.
I mean, I have a hard enough time. Like, try doing it while doing burpees. It's like, anyway, I just think that's really like an interesting, like, speaking of stamina on stage, you want to never run out of air. That's why people train at altitude.
Yep.
That's why when we
You
go to the
also can
coast,
get a fairly weird vocal performance out of it, but yeah.
yeah, but from a standpoint of, building up your strength to the point where it all feels like where it should be.
Yeah.
And then, that you can focus on the other stuff about the show, but you have the cardiovascular stamina to sing 2.5, 3 hours at night. Because there's so many, we've seen so many singers, they get winded by 45 minutes in. I mean, at the Guns N' Roses show at altitude, Axl probably had about 40 minutes of fucking amazing performance, and then let's give Slash a 15-minute guitar solo because I need to get some oxygen, and as I said before,
to be fair, that's like every singer at altitude.
Yeah, except for my Lord and Savior Simon fucking Le Bon. Suck it.
That's right.
That man is God. And Brandy Carlisle at altitude. Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
So, but there's
again, it depends on which show is their previous show to that. Like some of those managers know how to book.
Yeah.
Like Utah before Denver.
Like we're in Utah.
Like instead of Missouri before Denver.
Yeah. Get all the oxygen in now, and at least there's a progression when you come that way. You come from the west.
Or you get like a few days acclimated and that kind of thing.
I remember sitting around a campfire with my friend Morgan Miles. I think she just put out a new single she's doing very well with. But we were sitting around a campfire at a gig drinking bourbon or whiskey or something like that. And we were talking about management. And she was telling me that like when she was talking to potential management, that they would ask her what the most important thing for her was. And before the question was out, she'd go, routing. What's the most important thing to use at touring? Routing. So, because like where you go and how you go, it's like if you're in fucking Chicago one night and Gulf Shores, Texas the next night, that's not a good routing plan,
Yeah.
It's like, but even things
but
like...
I've heard from a lot of managers that like your fan base really drives that, so like if you're trying to penetrate, smaller markets, it's going to be harder.
Yeah.
And if you have like pockets, like you do really well in the Chicago metro area, but you got nothing else out of that, nothing in Detroit, you got nothing in northern Indiana, nothing, then we're going to...
But there's still a way to do it where you don't like you don't have to travel 24 hours straight. Yeah. Like pick something up in between that is like, they'll be fucking ecstatic to have an artist of your level show up in their town,
I think that's way overlooked for indie bands too. Is that indie bands they constantly are trying to win big markets, and that's smart. Like you throw a dart at a big target. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
But like I know that like how often like when we were doing spoke touring. So if you don't know what spoke touring is, you have kind of a home base, and then you draw lines. Out of it like a bicycle spoke, like a tire spoke.
Yeah.
And then at some point you can connect all those, and then you kind of tour throughout all of them.
Yeah.
And you basically do like a radius of like, I think ours was like 500 miles at first.
Oh, like the Proclaimers.
Up to 1,000. So it's like something you can hit, especially out in the West. That way you can hit, 6, 7 states.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. But we had a booking agent that would always like give us, weird gigs, but in between gigs, it didn't matter. We didn't care. We were going to win. It didn't matter. But like, I as much as I bitched about it at the time, and I don't think I did, but I mean, I think, on the night you bitch a little bit. You're like,
yeah, of course.
Okay, last night was like a hard rock, and we had a huge show, and fans showed up from everywhere, and it was a city, and we had a party afterward and all that. And then tonight we're playing what looks like an auto garage, and there's 50 or 100 people here. They all love it.
Yeah.
But it is 50 or 100 people, and we still had to unload everything. You still got to do it all.
Yeah,
but I mean, that paid off.
Yeah.
It's hard in the beginning.
Yeah.
But it pays off, and I think a lot of indie bands like sort of they overlook that. They overlook like, oh, that's part of it. That's part of like sort of cutting your teeth on the road is those gigs. Because the other thing that you do is that you learn so much together as a band.
Oh, yeah.
About like, all right, who's going to be the prima donna?
It was definitely me. I was absolutely the Donna here. Go on, shake
also,
it off.
Like you also know, you've got to play it a little different depending on the crowd. And, how well can you change up your set list and, improvise a little bit on certain parts. And, is it more of a bluesy crowd? Is it more dancing or whatever you can do to make that a better gig?
There's been so many, like I remember playing South Dakota, and of course we get the request for Freebird, and all the guitar players know Freebird. The singer does not know Freebird. This is the time, the dark times before the Empire, before iPads. So we're trying to remember the lyrics to Freebird while standing in the middle of this venue in South Dakota, on a set break. 7 Jaegers in, it's not going difficult. Well. So by the end of it, it devolved into a prog metal jam with our singer flouncing around the stage with his shirt open, Jack Black style, screaming, "I'm a bird, I'm 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 a bird," and we still got tipped like $1,500 for doing it. But
tip for the effort.
They tried so hard, but the
it's like Dave Chappelle. You don't pay me to come here and be funny. You pay me to come here and try.
That's
if
funny.
It's not funny, you're not getting your fucking money back.
Yeah, it's the idea of like the do you call it the spoke tour? We just would do like little loops, like kind of like that kind of thing, create a wheel. But it's a lot easier to do that in Denver because Denver's 7 hours from anywhere. So, like, for any major, market, you can hit small towns here and there, no matter what direction you go. But it was like we learned that pretty fucking quick because we're not driving an entire day to get to the next gig and not have something,
Right.
So you learn like, okay, if I go through McCook, Nebraska.
Oh, love me McCook.
Like I know that I can play. We can, by the way, pick up some gas money.
Dude, I got to stop you there.
Okay, McCook, Nebraska.
Dude, and we're not going to talk about it anymore. Don't say anything. This is just between you and me. You ready?
You and me and these thousands of people that are listening to this.
God damn it, the Tapestry.
Oh, the Tapestry.
And we'll talk about it later.
Oh,
but
shit.
That has so much relevance to what you just talked about.
Oh, McCook, Nebraska. Okay,
yeah.
But yet, like,
okay, go ahead. Yeah,
that was the way we would tour. Is we would go, okay, we'd go out and we'd play. We'd find a bar to play, right? And we'd go in and we'd fucking spam the shit out of the town with our merch and our stickers and our songs. We'd visit college radio stations. You do the whole thing. You take a day in the town, go spend the day fucking around and finding out. And then, play a bar that night that probably wasn't paying you great for the first time in the town, but you were looking to go ahead and place a, like a pin in the map. Okay, this is a place we can go. People responded really well to this. Keep in touch with everybody as we're going along and then go back and do it, 6 weeks later,
right.
To try and increase that radius on your spoke,
Oh, yeah. Well, then you tie it to Kearney and... Mm-hmm. Grand Island,
God,
and then you come back. Then you go down through Kansas, and you come back through Lawrence and Manhattan, and
I still have some really great friends
little bar in Hayes.
Oh, Hayes!
There's so many. The run back to Denver.
Yeah, that was
See, now I got two spokes.
Yeah, exactly, and you can
connect 1/8
them.
of a tire.
Yeah, 1/8 of a tire. There's so many but that was the thing is we loved that in our 20s and early 30s. Like I loved touring. Like it was my favorite thing in the world. I mean, I'd come back fucking broke as a joke, but we had a fan base and we had and the thing that happened is after, 5 or 6, that wasn't even that long. It was probably 2 or 3 years of doing that. You start getting a return on that, but you have to invest time in that. If you want to grassroots it. Now, I mean, it's a little different because, you can actually get to your marketplace before you arrive in your marketplace with the, the digital distribution hubs such as Spotify and that kind of stuff. You can actually target those locations with your marketing too. Like I want to, and so you can actually make a dent before you get there. You just have to remember that you're not the only one trying.
Yeah, the other thing I find about all those little small gigs that people overlook, and by the way, it's the same way. This is the same way in New Jersey, or Rhode Island, or South Carolina. Like, there's a bunch of little pockets that you can hit.
Yeah,
if you do them right, you sometimes have the best, like, the absolute best green room and overnight facilities that you would get anywhere.
Yeah.
Other places you're playing like a big gig somewhere and you're still staying at a Motel 6 or, renting out 5 rooms somewhere or Best Western or whatever on the road. Mm-hmm. But like these places, they have like housing and like someone that makes food for you and people that go get drinks for you. Like it can turn into like, oh my God, like
just a little
I would
home
come
away
here
from
and
home.
play this for a lot cheaper.
That's a very good point, because the experience also matters in that moment. It's like,
they're so excited to see you. You're coming
exactly.
through.
Like, because that probably doesn't happen often. And if you can
not
bring
as much as a major city,
if you can bring great entertainment to a small town, you are fucking in on gold, because you've got a really loyal fan base, and people leave small towns occasionally, and they will take that love of your music with them.
Absolutely.
And you can have a band
here's
bum.
a pro tip for you.
Pro tip:
if you can, in a small town, find out who's having a bachelorette party. Have them come through.
Yeah.
If there isn't a bachelorette party, find some women and make them fake one. And come through your bar.
Okay.
Like rolling heavy with dildos in their cups. And she's got like a crown
I always
on her
roll
head.
with a dildo in my cup. What are you talking about?
Heavy, though. You know what I mean?
Heavy
more
dildo?
than usual.
Okay.
Yes, more than usual.
Dense.
Yeah, nothing lights a bar up more than a bachelorette party.
Yeah.
And like, oh my God, you can... And then the owners, like, because the guys will buy them drinks.
Oh, yeah. They
all
love
the other people.
Oh, yeah. Loving that shit.
Managers and the owners are like, oh my God, this is the best band in the world. Just play one song they want. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I did a
That's
gig.
a pro tip.
I did a gig a couple of weeks ago where somebody requested Shania Twain, Man, I Feel Like a Woman. And there's no women in my trio. I'm hoping to change that at some point in time, but it won't be a trio anymore.
You're going through the change?
I'm going through changes. No, it's
I support you on your journey.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. No, it's I will make it a quartet at that point in time.
I see.
So,
add someone. I thought you were talking about making a change to the trio. Oh no.
But no, never mind. So somebody requested, Shania Twain, and of course I had to sing.
Leave it out.
I'm going out tonight. I'm feeling all right. I did sing it. I was like, "Let's go, girls." I did it fucking 2 octaves low because fuck yeah. I think our buddy Scott did that once in front of me, and I thought that was the greatest thing ever. So I'm totally stealing his idea. But
did you do it with a country twang?
Of course I did.
Best thing about being a woman.
You sound like you're like I don't know, like tearing down brush, wearing your overalls, one strap undone, titty hanging out, like
singing to himself, singing weed out his mouth. The prerogative to have a little fun. And, Yep.
I love this guy. Can we write like a book or a movie about this guy? Because I want to know him.
He's the other guy in Footloose. He's the Pen.
Oh, can we let's start
what was his name? Something Pen? He was a Pen, right?
I think so.
Sean Penn's brother.
Let's start a fan fiction site of tangential character stories from our favorite. You got the central hub, but there's a guy on the outside that we never see.
I love the guy on the outside
that lived the entire experience with them. You're welcome, America. Yeah,
Chris Penn, by the way, for all those people screaming on the podcast.
Yeah.
two people screaming.
It's
Chris Penn, you dumbass. God, you guys never get anything right.
That's okay. This is all based.
We're digging deep.
We are digging deep. But yeah, I love the idea of singing something that isn't meant for me. And it's like that's what we were talking about. Cover songs for artists a couple of months ago, and like how you can really go against the grain. Like, ladies sing a song written for a man, gentlemen sing a song written for a lady. Like, and play with it and put it in your way and make it orchestrate it in a unique fashion, and you can really have some fun with stuff rather than like, I gotta sing a guy's song.
Yeah. Why? Who cares?
Who cares?
Like, seriously.
Don't even change the pronouns.
Learn this lesson early, gentlemen.
Yeah.
You'll get the guys if you play for the chicks. Like seriously, what are you doing? I just want all the guys to love my music. They'll come around.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you doing?
We know, biologically speaking, what the men are thinking about most of the time. So if you can absolutely bring the thing that they are looking for, which is a little bit of courage and a little bit of sex,
Yeah, and especially singers, you know this. Like you could be a great singer, and like the dudes in the room. If you sing to a dude in the room, like no matter what the song is, you know, you could sing Metallica or whatever, but if you sing really well, it makes them uncomfortable. Yeah. Like my brother fucking hated me singing around him.
Yeah.
And he's like, I mean, you're really good, but like, I don't know why. I don't know why. I just don't. It feels weird. I'm
I wonder
like, okay,
if it's
I'm affecting you.
It's a challenge in the caveman centers. You know, it's like, oh, this guy can his mating call is much better than mine.
Probably. But I'd sing like Dio around him or whatever, and he'd still be like, I don't know, man, I don't know. He'd just be like weird about it.
Dio is different. It's like, you know, like
you're a ship without a storm. You know,
perfect. You know, like full on Jack Black that shit. But I did a show, like a metal show in December. Was it December? Yeah. And I remember, so I'm up there and I'm playing some fucking loud ass guitar, and it still is like that. You know. Like I'm playing and I'm just, you know, I got my head and I make eye contact with a dude and he immediately avoids because I am literally like roaring at him in that moment. And, you know, I don't know. I'm not.
He's like I'm tingling. I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah. And I don't know if I'm not in any way, shape or form. And I use the term alpha in a jovial manner because it's bullshit. Good, all of it,
because it's been disproven.
Yeah, absolutely.
From the guy who wrote it.
Yeah.
By the way, watch Pablo Torre finds out alpha. Go ahead and search that if you would like to find out why alpha male is completely fucking disproven.
Yeah.
Actually, the guy that did the study about it.
Yeah.
Alpha male is disproven, but alpha is actually kind of proven. But what it is that a true alpha leader is the exact opposite of what you think an alpha is.
Yeah.
They're intuitive. They're welcoming. They make everyone feel like getting a win.
Yeah.
They support people.
They take all the responsibility and none of the credit.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Amazing the things you can get done if you don't care who gets the credit.
I agree.
Everyone knows. Lincoln said that.
Yeah.
Nope.
No,
that's not who it was.
It was not Lincoln. It was Sebastian
FDR.
Bach. Sebastian Bach.
Right.
Sebastian Bach. Roosevelt. Aristotle. Aristotle Onassis. Shit. We're just like rambling now. So like I when I go see a band, I am very conscious of my body language to the musicians because I don't want to be that fucking guitar dick in the back of the room with his arms crossed, looking like he's judging. I want to be there to support them, even if they're fucking having a hard night, right? I want to send them, you know, good mojo, right?
Oh, man. I'm halfway in between there.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you're giving me an effort, I will totally be up front.
Yeah.
Even if you suck. But you're trying your ass off. This is the best that you're giving me. Like, and I'll be all in. I will praise you.
Yeah.
But if I can tell you're better and you're mailing it in, I start walking them back.
That's different though. That's an
holding
energy
my
thing.
Beer, one arm up around my chest. I don't know about this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's different. That person is putting out an apathetic bullshit attitude. And I don't want to go see music like that.
Especially if they're talented. If you can hear it in them, you know, and you can hear, you're like, I know that you're better than this.
Yeah, yeah. I was, I remember like, I was 20. I don't remember when the fuck No More Tears came out, the Ozzy Osbourne record. I remember absolutely loving the Mama I'm Coming Home solo because, you know, I'm a huge Zakk Wylde fan. And, you know, from, you know, No Rest for the Wicked on, you know, like through like I think Osmosis. I can't remember the last one. He was on one of the last couple, or maybe on both of the last two Ozzy records. But I remember hearing that solo and going, like, that solo is relatively easy to play, right? It's a pretty easy solo to play. But if you listen to the way he plays it, he plays it like a guy that can fucking rip your head off. But he is choosing in that moment to be just this laid back Southern fucking king, you know, like Southern guitar king. And it's just like, I that's the kind of thing I'm looking for in a player. Is like, I don't give a fuck if you can shred circles around me. Play like you fucking mean it, please.
I always love, like, as sort of a buff dude, that, like, you know, I always love Zakk Wylde because it's like, oh yeah, you can play guitar with muscles.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
you know, and with big hands, you can do that.
He's got big hands.
Like that last note on the No More Tears.
Yeah, yeah.
Or on, is it on No More Tears or is it? Yeah, no, that's what.
Yeah, the big high band. Yeah,
yeah, that like just slaps you in the face.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah.
Somebody asked me.
91.
91. God. So I wasn't even in the United States when that came out. I'm a foreigner. Somebody asked me like what my favorite guitar tone was a couple months ago, and it's been the same answer since probably 1993. And that is listen to the first note of the Don't Look Back solo from Boston. That is my favorite guitar tone of all time.
Wow. Okay.
The way
Tom?
that I think it's Tom that comes in on that one. Yeah. It is. No, it's
that one.
No, the right when the solo they do the da 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 boom ba, the first note of the riff. It's like the biggest thing that's what she said, that you will ever hear. And I mean, you know, Brian May is my favorite guitar player. Mm-hmm, Number 2 is Prophet Song by Queen. Okay. But that note on its own, again, playing like you mean it, and fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. I love that. And I love Zakk.
Oh, yeah. Muscles.
And just no more tours, no more tears.
Yeah. Did you
Ozzy
go see...
is trying to tour again.
No. Well, you know, if it makes him happy, fuck yeah. Here he goes again with his happy time. Did you see Zach Sabbath when they came through? Zakk Wylde's Black Sabbath tribute? No. I think the Native Howl opened for them too, and I really wish I'd gone. I think some friends of ours, I think Allie and Kate from the Blackouts went and, stared directly up Zach's kilt all night long, but, oh, fuck yeah. Like,
that guy's just a dude.
Yeah.
But, I mean, and doing the Pantera thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I heard so many people give, bad feedback from that because of Dimebag. And,
yeah.
But it's like,
Dimebag and Vinny being
pick
on.
Someone who could do it.
Yeah. Wasn't, is it Charlie Benanti from Anthrax playing the drums on it? Who's playing drums for Pantera when they're touring right now?
I don't know.
But they picked the right fucking guys to do it. And, drummer 2023, let's see, Charlie Benanti. Yeah. They picked the right fucking guys to play it. So, yeah, but I also understand, being a little, like, it's not Pantera. I was fortunate enough that I got to see Pantera many times. Yeah. And they were something to behold as a metal band goes. I
got to see them on a really drunken, crazy road trip.
Fantastic.
In early 90s. This is during, I think it was Cemetery Gates time. Cowboys from Hell.
Cowboys from Hell, yeah.
And I saw, I think it was called Backstage. It was like their home bar in Houston.
Oh, wow.
And it was like they were still, they were blowing up. They had radio everywhere.
Yeah.
But like they were nowhere near like a Metallica or, all those kind of things that were out. But I was just blown away. I was like the crowd and all that. But even at that time, there was a little bit of that white nationalist shit in the crowd for Phil.
Fuck.
And like it was, and I was like, oh, don't like this, but I mean, it was kind of Texas, and it was like, well, that's gonna happen. It was like, wow, everybody's hair's cut really short here, except for a few of us.
Guitar player, the drummer, and me.
And it was just, I talked about this to a friend years after this.
Yeah,
and he was like, well, and he was sober at that point. He was like, see, don't you wish that you would have seen that? Not as drunk, not on so much Jaeger and everything else. And I was like, absolutely not. That was like part of
the experience.
That was part of the memory of it. Is a little blurry. It looks in my head. It looks a lot like the video.
Yeah,
me remembering that concert. Like it was just very chaotic and bright.
Yeah,
and a little blurry.
And I tell there are some things that it is like the best experience to have in those moments is to have a little bit of alteration on it. You know, you remember it joyfully. But I will admit, like there have been a few things lately that I've been experiencing that have been very grateful that I am. So I'm not sober, but I was sober for those moments. And musically speaking and personally speaking, like, you know, hanging out with people and having a great experience and not being like blotto drunk. I mean, it was, you know, my birthday last weekend and I went to a concert on Saturday night and I had a couple of beverages, but kept it, you know, I've been trying to keep an eye on that shit because it can get a little wackadoo sometimes. And then your car ends up, you leave it somewhere and Uber home and then it's another 40 minutes the next day to go fucking find it, you know? I just kind of over that experience a little bit, but this concert was a band called Big Richard. Have you ever heard of Have you heard of them?
No.
Bluegrass quartet. A couple of people from Denver, a couple of people that I'm acquainted with and have played shows with in the bands, and 4 ladies, absolutely fucking magnificent. And they were at the Ogden Theater on Saturday night, and incredible songs, absolutely amazing singers. They're doing Telluride this summer, the Bluegrass Festival. I can't remember what their position is, but they are absolutely fucking magnificent. And I am very happy that I was, for the most part, you know, unaltered. I mean, as I said, I had a couple of drinks. It was my birthday. I knew one of the security guys. He gave me a couple of drink tickets. And so I was standing at the bar talking to him during a song. And all of a sudden they start playing the intro to Pink Floyd's Time up there.
Very nice.
You know, and there's a bluegrass version of it. But it wasn't a bluegrass version. They basically took the album, the kind of the half tempo kind of vibe, and did all of that stuff just with bluegrass instruments. And it was fucking incredible. It was amazing. Yeah. It was so good.
And it's kind of nice that you could like sort of focus in on it without being more blotto.
Yeah, yeah. So there's some experiences.
For as much as we talk about it, I'm clearly usually the soberest one.
Yeah.
When we're out and about usually, and I'm that guy.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I just don't like being drunk in public.
Yeah.
You know, like there's not a...
Punk and drublic. Yeah.
It's just not that, you know, it's you threw me in public.
Yeah.
It's just not that fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other part is it's been
done it.
Been a while. I did both of them at once.
Yeah, you did.
But we've already done that. I've already done that.
Yeah.
I already had that experience. I'm interested in new experiences right now, and I love a glass of my favorite beverages, but it's not the same thing that it used to be. Like, you remember like the days when it was like, I need 3 shots or else he won't go on stage that night.
Yeah, just get going.
Yeah, it's like, it's not the same experience I want to have as a performer anymore. I don't want to have that barrier between me and the people I'm trying to connect with anymore. The experience is different now for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, back to running before you go on stage.
I know. There's a bunch of people listening to this like, oh, Jesus Christ, you guys are boring. Yep. That's right. Boring.
But at the end of the day, like, why am I performing? It's not just because my ego needs to get fluffed and my dick gets hard because people like me. It's not about that. It's about, yes, there's a connection, there's an energy transfer going on here, and I want to experience that. Now, if there's a couple of mushrooms involved in that experience, that's a different connection.
That's right.
Anyway.
All right, well, let's get to a little music business question.
Okay.
I guess that was all music.
That really was matter. All music. That's great. Yeah. What the hell's wrong with us?
Kelsey's going to be so happy.
She's like, she just needs to not show up and we'll actually talk about shit.
It's better when you're not here, Kelsey.
Exactly.
I would never say that. We should do your question.
Okay, yeah.
You had.
I did have a question
from the peanut gallery that you.
I was talking to a friend of mine in Tennessee yesterday. A fantastic songwriter friend of mine named Corey Lee, and his question was, "Can you tell me exactly what royalties does a distributor like Distrokid pays?" And yes. I thought that was a really great question because I think it gets a little confusing what a distributor does and what a PRO does and what Song Trust is about and what Sound Exchange is about and what, like all of that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Okay, so do you want to answer it, or you want me to?
No, I want you to answer it because I gave him my answer, but this is my research phase. But I have an idea. But you know, like you go deeper on this shit than I do often.
You answer first, and we'll see if you're right.
That's pretty much. I am not going to be right.
We're make Michael answer first, see if he's right. Distrokid, Symphony, CD Baby, things like that. But I'll just stick with Distrokid. And by the way, we'll put like a Distrokid link in. I think it'll give you 15% off. It's the distributor I choose to use for all of my label projects, stuff like that.
Me too.
Mostly because I think you can do more releases for cheaper. They don't take a piece of every release. You can do unlimited releasing at a certain level. So we'll leave that link in the YouTube thing and on our webpage when we do this. So it's real quick. Basically, a distributor pays you for sales.
Yeah. And
sales only come in the recorded version form. So as everybody knows, there's two sides of music. There's the recording, the sound recording side, and the composition side. So when you're dealing with Distrokid, all you're dealing with is the sound recording side. And the royalty is called reproduction. So it's a reproduction right. And basically that used to mean, like where it comes from, is every record that's printed.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's how streams are sort of done now. And that's a certain amount of sales. And so it's still called a sale when there's a stream. It's not called a sale until you have a certain amount of streams. But basically, that's what it is. So you get paid reproduction royalties.
Yeah.
And that is only on the sound composition. So who gets paid that is basically whoever the rights holder is of the sound recording. That would be the label. If you're an independent artist that paid for your own recording, then you own that. You should set up your own little fake label. But yes, that is what it is. Now, secondarily, they also pay for iTunes downloads. And they pay 100% of all the money that they get in from, say, Spotify on the reproduction rights, on the reproduction royalties, as well as 100% of the money they get from iTunes on, say, a download. That is also minus the 30% that Apple keeps.
Yeah.
So they make their money elsewhere, minus bank fees, I think, is they put that little term in there, minus bank fees and little transaction things or whatever. But like when I get my royalty statements, it's basically, that's when you see people trying to figure out how much they make per stream when they're trying to reverse engineer it, that's what they're doing. They're taking their sales numbers from their distributor and going, I got paid this much for this many streams, which equals 0.0035 or whatever for whatever it is. And so those are the only royalties that Distrokid basically takes. However, Distrokid also collects on YouTube streams, but it's in a different way. So that's a different royalty. It's a different thing that they're doing. But basically, mostly it is reproduction royalties. That's what it's called.
Isn't there's a special button you have to click to have them collect your YouTube royalties, right?
Yes, and you can use a third party, and like I use two different third parties to do my collection, which of course they keep 10 to 15% or whatever that thing is, which is fine. And that is not a one-to-one thing. It depends on whether it's a premium user watching a auto-generated video of the music that was released on YouTube. It depends on whether it's an official music video. It depends on whether it's user-generated. It's also different if it's on the site that's called YouTube Music, which is still nefarious as hell to people who don't really understand like why that is. But like, so those things are different. So so that's basically how it works. On the other rights, I mean, I can rip them off for you really quick. There's, on the other side, you have mechanical rights, which is basically on the publishing side, on the composition. And then you have, and so they're mechanical licensing. You have MLC is the one that takes those that Spotify pays into. And then there's also performing rights, the performance rights, which is another royalty that is where your ASCAP, BMI, SOCAN, CSAC, that kind of stuff works.
Fantastic.
And performance rights also gets paid out on the sound recording side, but that also goes to a PRO.
Yes.
So what Distrokid basically takes is the reproduction rights, and they pay you on sales. So think about it like a record store. Every time your album would sell, you get your money.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
that is pretty much what I said. I didn't know all the stuff about reproduction stuff, but I did say it was who owns the recording. That's the person that should get paid from their Distrokid.
Yeah, and just to be clear, rights holders are like, and I say this constantly, I swear to God, I have to say it to people who are in record companies, that Spotify does not pay artists.
Oh, that's got to be tiring.
Spotify pays rights holders and rights organizations.
Yes.
Those are the only two things that Spotify pays. Now, because you have a distributor, you have, when you click a button, say you upload shit to Distrokid, you don't know this.
Yeah.
But when you click a button, you're basically allowing them to take that money on your behalf and then put it into your account.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you had a direct deal with Spotify, they would be paying you directly. And when I say Spotify, Apple, Deezer, blah, blah, blah. It's fun to say Deezer, even though they don't matter at all. Sorry.
That's funny. Rude. No, it's fair because and that's the truth is the two big ones are Spotify and Apple Music, and if you're like as much as you may want to go with Tidal and Deezer, which pay a better streaming rate, your customers aren't there.
No,
they're not.
And also Amazon.
Yeah,
Amazon they're taking a huge. This is all part of the same. This is all part of the same bullshit technological enshittification of the systems.
Enshittification?
Yes, that's a Cory Doctorow
I love it.
saying. Yeah. But it's basically as every platform grows, it becomes shittier and shittier.
Yeah.
Because they have to do things to maintain corporate growth.
Yeah.
Quarterly growth. And what comes with that is a bunch of tricks. Like, okay, we're going to have audio assistants.
Yeah.
So Siri or the Amazon one where you got to say something to it.
Alexa.
Hey, Alexa, play my song from whatever. And the idea there is that that's always like incorporated into that back platform. So when you are using Alexa and you say, hey, Alexa, play the new Stu Miller song, it's going to play it from the Amazon catalog.
Okay. Gotcha.
And you should be signed up for that for Prime Music or whatever. And if you do it from Siri, it's automatically going to play it from Apple Music. Now you can do it. You can change it.
You can tell it what to play
Siri,
it from.
Play Stu Miller on Spotify.
Yeah. Yeah.
But boy, it doesn't like it. It takes a little bit longer, as you might notice.
Yeah, I didn't know. I noticed that more in the car because I've got in my sweet Korean whip. I've got Apple CarPlay. And so, I can actually Hey Siri the car, and have her, oh shit, just fucking set off my Hey Siri on everything.
Sorry to everyone listening.
Sorry to everyone with Hey Siri.
Sorry.
Yeah, they're like, one of the funniest things was,
hey Siri, pay 2 shots and a royalty check on Spotify.
And it's going to take an hour to find that. It's going
to play you that fucking rapper 2 shots.
Yeah, excellent. Fuck yeah. I was in the car the other day, so I can do that in the car. I can tell it to which app to play it from. But I was in the car the other day, and I'm driving home with my kid, and our voices are very similar now because he's, a teenager, and his voice has kind of dropped down and he totally activated my phone, my Hey Siri, and played some god-awful, I'm going to fucking turn this thing off because it just did it again. He activated, he played some god-awful, terrible, distorted, sped up song that, like the teenagers are like we were talking about, it was like, oh no. And then he played the Better Call Saul theme. Yeah, fucking up my algorithm. But I didn't know that about Amazon Music. I was actually working with somebody the other day that is their chosen streaming platform. I love this. So yeah. There's
a lot on there. They're doing a lot more in audio, and especially with storytelling. They had this thing called AMP, which was kind of like radio. I think they've shut that down now, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, bummer.
But they used to have some really cool integrations. I did something with an artist a year ago on Amazon where you could do these little storytelling vignettes about the song.
Oh, cool.
So you could dive into the song a little bit further And like I saw Sarah Bareilles had done it with her like release.
Yeah.
You can be like, I wrote this song in 1994 and it was on the pier. And you can do this it's your own voice. It's the audio from
that's
the
really
artist.
cool.
You upload it yourself. It's great.
That's really cool. Storytellers.
But like, it's also hard. What I found with this artist is that a lot of people that use Amazon Music use it for their kids. So there's a lot of kids stuff.
Nice.
Which is cool. Like, maybe if that's what your music is, you should maybe go in on this.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of good integration with it.
Our friend and commenter on the 6 hours of eventually getting the music business, Bradley Weaver. He's got a few kids records out that are really great, and you should check those out. But that's good to know that Amazon Music is a good platform for that. Because we've talked about like how Spotify and Apple Music tend to skew pop and EDM and hip hop. So it's good to know there's a platform out there that's, actually catering to the kids.
Well, and I think it's one of those things where it's ease of use, so like if you're in a household and, mom can say, she can teach the kid or the dad, whatever, like they can teach the kid, hey, just ask Alexa to play Bluey's greatest hits or whatever. Yeah. And by the way, what you should do is ask Alexa to play The Jiggle Worm by Michael C. James. And you'll find my children's album. But you can find, it just...
Hold on, can I find that record right now? The Jiggle Worm's out there?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I think so.
I'm looking for it.
Giggleton's The Jiggle Worm. That's back when there was...
Jiggle Wiggle. Music from The Jiggle Worm,
was the hit song.
Giggleton.
That was the lead single, buddy.
Hell, okay... Oh my God!
I love to jiggle, wiggle, jump up and down a little.
Can we talk about how great your photo is on your Apple Music page? I mean, look at this guy. Why would you not want to fuck with that?
That is from the state fair that I played with Trinidad, with Polly.
Oh,
by the way, speaking of doing like working out before a show, that's just before I almost passed out.
Oh no!
It was so fucking hot. It was like 105 degrees. It's in Pueblo.
I did a show with I think was it Clint Black? I did the show. No, it was Tracy Lawrence was who I did the show with. I don't remember where it was. It was kind of a southern Colorado town as well. And I overheated so bad I had to go sit in my car and turn the air conditioning on and just sit there and not melt. It was so fucking hot. Those shows are insanely hot.
Yeah,
outside.
and we were just before the headliners.
Yeah,
or we were like right at sundown.
Yeah,
and then there was like that drumming group from Vegas was like one of the things, and then they got fireworks. They got fireworks, and I'm sitting in the backstage, and they had like air conditioning back there. Thank God. So I'm back there, and I was like, and I started hearing pop off and stuff, and I was like, oh my God, they got fireworks! So I came outside.
Nice, excellent.
But so anyway. Reproduction rights. That's
Reproduction, yeah. Thanks for all of that. I didn't know the lingo, the terminology. I did know the separation of what gets paid where. But I appreciate the lingo and the terminology. And the thing that's cool about this is I now get to send this to my friend and say, hey, your question got on the air. Here's a free T-shirt. Speaking of which, dude, we have merch on our site. I had a friend reach out and said, I want mugs. And it's like, we got fucking mugs, baby. Come on now. Do we
have mugs?
We do. We have mugs.
Oh, yeah. I need to get a mug. Someone asked me about the Bitchy Kitty World Tour. And I asked if those are still available. I said I would check with Kelsey. I'm not sure who's running that.
No,
right now,
we have an AI running it.
We've grown so big.
We're so big.
It's really hard to tell what we have and what we don't.
Our warehouse is almost empty.
Almost empty. Well, sold out from last season, certainly.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to Sync of the Week.
Sync
of the Week. I will. I'll go first.
Yeah.
I watched a big fucking action movie on Netflix.
Which one?
Called Lift.
Ooh.
It's a Kevin Hart joint.
Oh, is that the Heist in the Sky one?
It is.
Nice.
And I was interested to see how well Kevin Hart can pull this off, because this isn't Kevin Hart playing like sort of an erratic, stupid guy.
This isn't Central Intelligence Kevin Hart.
That I've seen that movie a few times with him.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
this one I wanted to see whether or not he could pull off like sort of he's a leading man in this. He's a thief. Runs a thief crew. He's the head of a thief crew. There's
Fantastic.
Interpol. It's Europe. Holy shit, it's all the things I like.
Yeah.
First class planes. It's some banging. It starts in Venice. We go to London. We're in Brussels. I mean, it's right up my alley.
Yeah, totally.
And so I watched it. And I got to say, I was really impressed with Kevin Hart in it.
Fuck yeah.
He does some stunts that are completely believable.
Mm-hmm. He
is playing sort of a suave leading man role, falling in love with the Interpol, chick, and it was fun. It was good. I mean, it's a heist movie, and so it's kind of, if you know heist movies, you have to suspend a little bit of disbelief.
Oh yeah, of course.
But what do I say? It is very slick, very high produced, and really fun, really good. I would call it a 2-joint movie. It's really fun, really fun to watch. But I wanted to isolate 2 songs from it. So my sync of the week is 777 by Silk Sonic.
Hell yeah. Great choice.
Which, by the way, if you get a chance, if you're listening to this and you haven't heard An Evening with Silk Sonic, go search that and listen to it now. You'll be like, oh, that one song. Yeah, I remember that. Mm-hmm. No, listen to the whole album. It holds up. I think this will hold up for 20 years.
Really?
Like, the whole fucking album is still... Wow. You forget how good it is because it happened 2 years ago on the heels of COVID. And we were all a little dazed. And they didn't get their flowers because they took themselves out of the Grammys. But honestly, it is a beast of production. Yeah. And 777 is a great song to put on your playlist when you go to Vegas, by the way.
Fantastic.
Just so you know. The other song I wanted to just isolate here is Busy Earnin' by Jungle. If you have been in Music Sync for any amount of time, you know this song, Busy Earnin' by Jungle. This is what we call sync bait. When I say sync bait, go listen to that song and reproduce it 500 ways. If you want to learn how to get into sync, that song has been synced so many goddamn times, and it's earned it every time. It fits against film in tons of situations so well. The feel, the vibe, the sound, the choices of the music. Just go find that song, and you will know. You'll be like, God, I've heard this. Yeah. That is such sync bait. Anyway, fantastic. Guess who the music supervisor is to Lyft?
Gabe
Hilfer.
Hell yeah.
Come on down. Show me Gabe Hilfer. Ding, 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 ding.
Can we do a guest thing with? Let's see if we can get him down to talk to people about this stuff because he is fucking crushing it.
Yeah, because he's not busy at all.
He's not busy.
He's on every fucking thing we're watching.
Yeah, I know. But
the good thing is that you know enough about sync now to know that he did all this 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. He did this 2 years ago, and
or a year and a half ago.
He's probably taking a nap this month. Well, at least he's taking one nap.
He's skiing in Switzerland
15 minutes.
or in Cannes or something. Yeah.
Shh. That's the sound of skiing. That was my interpretation.
Yeah, I'd love to join you guys on Zoom. Shh.
No. I want to fucking go find a hall in New Zealand, and they just fly 14 hours. We'll fucking make it happen.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it from a hobbit hole.
I have people in Christchurch.
Oh, we're gonna have a great time. Fuck yeah. Anyway, mine is from... Okay, so of late, the Marvel films have been a little too weighty for my jovial and light moods. And I've just been kind of like, I watched Echo, I've watched What If, I've watched them all, but I can't do it, I can't watch it, because it's too fucking heavy. I have to watch it during the day, and I'm like, okay, that was fun, but they're trying to DC it up, and I'm not here for it. I want my Marvel silly and fun. Yeah. I want Iron Man. Here comes the Marvels, right? So I watched the Marvels. I've watched Ms. Marvel. I've watched WandaVision. I've watched Captain Marvel. I really enjoyed all of them. They're just a little silly and whimsical, and this movie is fun as fuck. It's not high stakes. It is high, as high stakes as you can get in a comic book movie, but it's really, really fun and silly, and everybody's enjoyable, and it's cute. Their use of Barbra Streisand's memory from Cats is fucking amazing. It's so fucking funny how it's juxtaposed against some abject terror in some of the characters. It's fucking really well done, and I very much enjoyed it. And the choreography on screen, it's like the Jesus Christ Superstar for Zava in Ted Lasso. Like, somebody storyboarded this to the song and was like, we're
song
getting that fucking
first,
song.
probably,
Yeah, like a Tarantino kind of thing. But Dave Jordan, the soup on that, it's worth watching just for that scene, and it's very, very fun. Don't carry
really, because I hate that song.
That version of the song or that song in general? I
hate the both.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because it just triggers me. Like, I was alive when that came out.
Yeah. It was a little after it was a little.
You were probably still.
It was a little before I really got into musicals and that kind of stuff. So I missed that one.
Yeah. And I loved Barbra Streisand. Like,
oh yeah.
Like back in the day, y'all.
Still
back
love
in
Streisand.
the day, Barbra Streisand was hot.
Yeah. Still fucking badass.
Yeah. But
Babs is great
at that point.
But yeah, it's
like
really
sexuality.
fun how it's pulled together. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. But it's also, I remember going to see Transformers when it first came out, the Michael Bay debacle, and really fucking enjoying the shit out of it. It was too fucking long, but I'm walking out of the theater and there's a guy behind me and said, well, that wasn't true to life because Optimus Prime would never listen. It wasn't realistic. And my buddy Jay, who was with me, he goes, you just watched a movie about cars that turn into robots. What part of reality were you looking for? It's just like
a bit of suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, do that. Go in fucking with your eyes open that it's going to be fun and enjoy it. And it's not an Academy Award winning thing, but it's popcorn fun. And, sometimes that's okay. They don't all have to be Killers of the Flower Moon, which is also fucking great.
Oh, I had that loaded last night, ready to watch.
Yeah.
I got a call that was like, an old friend of mine, and by old I mean 85, fell down, and some young girl was like, he told me to text you because you know how to deal with his injuries. I'm like, what the fuck? I helped him clean up his head injuries before. It was a whole long thing, and I was like, so after that, I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to watch Lift.
Yeah, that's going to be on my list for the next couple of days. That sounds like fun.
Because I keep looking at Flowers of the Killer Moon, and I'm like, do I have 3.5 hours?
Do I have Scorsese in me? Scorsese does require some effort. I want it too, yeah. Of course.
I want it, but yeah, that's hilarious. So Andrew Lloyd Webber, by the way, Christopher Nunn, I think was the name of the lyricist. Trevor Nunn.
The librettist.
Trevor Nunn was the lyricist to Memories.
When does somebody become a librettist versus a lyricist? What is the difference?
Ooh, well, I think you break up the lyrics in a libretto for a stage production.
Okay.
So I think you have to have stage direction.
Oh,
I believe.
Right. Well, that's something we're going to be looking into.
I think I'm a librettist.
Oh, fantastic. I'm a librettist. Well, excellent.
But yeah, I may be wrong about that. But it's lyrics aren't, so libretto isn't necessarily all. It's from the traditional idea of lyrics. It's not necessarily sung lyrics. So I think, yeah. So, I mean, the text of an opera, the text of a musical theater or whatever.
Yeah.
That can be, yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's I was just curious because that word kept, because especially with regards to the fact that it's from a musical, I was curious if it was,
it comes from opera.
Yeah, I knew that. I just wasn't sure. That's why I was
like in musicals, it's still called a script. I think in opera, it's more libretto. But yeah.
All right.
But it can be spoken as well. I do know that.
Okay. So Hamilton has a libretto or a lyrics? I'm just kidding.
Both.
I'm just over here being an asshole.
Well, yeah. Oh God. How would you? I think that's libretto because rap is still spoken.
Yeah, I mean, there's still like if you don't have sung parts,
if you don't have musical notes on it, it wouldn't necessarily be. I mean, there's percussive notes.
Ooh.
Alexander Hamilton.
Somebody's screaming at their
Yes. Please
their
email
device.
us and tell us how wrong we are.
Yeah,
Go on
we
all
love
of our
it.
social medias, especially because let's wrap this fucker up. Come on.
I was waiting
Come
for
on,
that. That's
join
like
us
might be
over
the
at 2Shots
smoothest.
Music Pod anywhere you follow people and give us shit about librettos, librettists, lyricists, lyrics.
Please.
Hamilton.
Would you, please?
We all think that Hamilton isn't a musical. Fucking fight me.
Oh, I think it's a
I'm
fucking
just
musical.
kidding. It's
Absolutely a musical. Fuck. I was like,
You can
I'm like
also
ducking and
email
covering.
us 2shotsmusicpod@gmail.com. You can throw bottles and shoes and cans at us if you would like to come through the 80218.
Shoes, preferably Louboutin boots for me. That would be great.
I'd duck you like George Bush Jr.
Fantastic.
Ooh, that's an old one, isn't it? There's some people that were born when that thing happened.
Yeah, I was one of them. No, that's not
Yeah,
true.
I know. Anyway. All right, yeah. Make sure to check out us on all the socials and things like that. And do email us some questions if you want us to answer
Please,
a serious question.
please.
We will absolutely probably not answer it seriously. No, we will. We always do. We respect you. By the way, thank you so much to all the brand new YouTube subscribers. If you're still hanging out and you're listening to this right now, it's great to see you over there on YouTube. We really appreciate it. Same thing with the Apple Podcast people. That's where we're getting most growth. Spotify still hates us. I don't know why. I don't know why. But anyway, it's maybe because we tell you how to beat Spotify's little system. But we hope that you write a great song this week. And we hope that you take care of yourself. At least Stu does. I hope that you go a little
I
crazy
really
and
want
make
you to
some
take care of yourself.
Bad choices. I hope you have things to write about. Get a fucking divorce. Get arrested. Whatever.
I got 2 of those.
I want you to have a better story for Write a Song. So that's me.
Yes, I agree with that, but I don't think it's necessary to suffer. Just recognize all things are leading you to your perfect life.
And all things are temporary. This too shall pass. Until we talk to you next time, we love you all. And we will talk to you soon. Goodbye.
Love you, bye.
Yeah.